Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, it's your pontiff, Archibald Chesterfield III, AC3. Today guys, I'm doing paid review 21QB101. This is for my good friend Brandon. Let's go Brandon. And before we start this wristwatch check, let's do a quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a 42mm Explorer 2. Okay, I've had an epiphany. Root beers are fucking cool. Sent you 50 Great British pounds for your opinion on whether I should bid for the following 1675 root beer from 1974 at auction. Okie dokie. Okay. Apologies, I sent you 50. It ended up going for 12,000 euro, not to me. Here's another root beer at auction. If you have thoughts on it, specifically root beers more generally. Okay, this is a good friend of mine. Now, as soon as he said this particular gentleman, he is a vintage lover. And I gotta tell you, vintage is a great way to be. And I like his collection because he's kind of kept it in line. He's kept his collection in line. And I understand what he's trying to do there, because you've got to have some rules. I think you want to collect similar genres. It's better to be in the same genre. Now, he's got, let's just quickly go over his choice there and let's see what we can suggest there. So he's got some very beautiful. He's got an Omega 321. That's the original Speedmaster. He has got a Milgauss 1019. That's the plastic vintage. He's got a very beautiful vintage Reverso, 1930s. And he's got a Lange 1815 up down. So quite a nice, good flavor through it. And I got to be totally honest with you, Brandon. I first had fear. I thought, oh no, he wants to add a modern root beer. I thought, oh, I don't know how this is going to work. However, I then saw the link. It's a 1675, and guess what? I think a vintage GMT two-tone could absolutely be perfect. Indeed. And I got to tell you, I think the root beer is pretty damn beautiful. That is a really gorgeous watch. And why not give it a squirt? The only thing is, of course, is you want to be very careful, because these pieces here can be a bit problematic, in the sense that you want to make sure it's original, a non-molested piece, because there are vintage is a very tough game. Vintage is tough. But a nipple dial two-tone, what do I seriously think? I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think in this collection here, a two-tone could be a great way to go, because We've got a white gold Lange. We got a Reverso. We've got a beautiful 321 Speedmaster, and we've got a 1019 Milgauss. So we've got some very cool pieces. I think the vintage, see if you put a modern one in, it kind of, you know, it's be very kind of hard. See, the most modern piece we've got in this collection is, of course, the beautiful Lange. Langes are cool. But I got to tell you, I think that would be a beautiful way to go, is to link, to build this collection here. Two-tone nipple dial. I can't think of a better way to go. I would even say 16750. You could even go for a 16750. There's quite a number of different nipple dials you could go for. One of these here would be supreme, absolutely supreme. So the other option, of course, would be a Submariner. Maybe a sub. Maybe that's a bit too bright. I think the GMT would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. So the only thing I would say is if you're buying it at auction, sometimes you've got a return privilege after you've bought something. I would get a specialist to check it out. Vintage is a minefield. It is very much a minefield. But I got to be totally honest with you. I think this would be a nice addition. A nice addition. Brandon did say, he did say to me, the other piece he was looking at was a Patek Philippe 5035 annual calendar, the first series of annual calendar. And I got to be totally honest with you, that would also really go nicely with this collection. That is a piece that is also classic. The 16750 two-tone would be vintage, yes, very clear vintage. I think a 5035 Patek annual calendar, that has got a lot going for it. It's very, very quintessential first model, 37 mil. You know, it doesn't have the moon phase. It's a very classic piece, and I would also look into a 5035. What would I prefer? That's a good question. What would I prefer? So a 5035, I've got to be honest with you, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but now these are, I got to say, 5035, you could probably get one 16,000 pounds. What's better, a 5035 or a 1675? They're both beautiful. Different genres, complicated Patek, or as classic Rolex. The Rolex would probably be the better investment, but I suspect with Brandon here, it's not about money, it's more personal enjoyment. Maybe I would seriously consider a 5035. I think I've got one, I do own one. I think that would also be a superb piece for your collection. What else would I suggest? A Datejust? I don't know if you really need a Datejust. Some sort of Rolex diver. I just love the root beer because it's zany and flamboyant, and it's not a Rolex sub. That's kind of so appealing about it. I would have to say myself, 5035, I wouldn't cross that off. That is a superb watch, which I think you would really enjoy. I think you'd really enjoy it. That's not to say the 1675 nipple dial root beer is not a fantastic choice. I just think you should be aware of it. Personally, I think they'd both be amazing. They'd both be amazing for a contemporary. They're a beautiful collection. Very, very, very cool collection. So that's what I'd say. I would say don't rule out the 5035. I know you were considering a 5035 when you got the Lange and the Milgau. So it must be a contender. So I don't think you could go wrong either way. Do I like a 1675? That's an amazing watch. Root beer nipple dial. Amazing piece. Absolutely amazing. So I've got to say yes. Very good choice indeed. Don't rule out the 5035, but I understand if you went for Rolex. Okay, guys, that's the show for today. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And remember, guys, I can't survive on Google Ads. I need these paid reviews to survive. Without these paid reviews, it makes it very, very difficult to survive. Please get a paid review done now. The other thing is you can sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you for a small amount of $1 a month. Just keeps me going because the YouTube business is very hard for a niche type market that I'm in. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, check out one of my best friends, Jamie Opulence, on YouTube. Just go to Jamie Opulence on YouTube. A fantastic channel from my good friend Jamie. Check it out, guys. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to introduce a new service to you. ValueYourWatch.com. Proud supporters of ArchieLuxury. No seller's fees, no buyer's fees. That's right, guys. This is a trading platform to buy or sell watches. You can start selling for free. That's right. We advertise our paying subscribers on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's a global platform. That's right, guys. Get $50 off the annual subscription by applying the coupon Archie when you check in there. But guys, you can try this for free straight away. Guys, you can start listing watches. ValueYourWatch.com. Give it a try and tell me what you guys think of that.
All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, Archie Luxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys, Vintage Watch Co.